Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Following the destruction of houses by Hurricane Beryl, the government will be beefing up inspections of house plans to ensure builders, homeowners, contractors, and others comply with the building codes. This was pointed out by Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez while speaking on radio on Monday. The finance minister stated that contractors have already been informed that they could face consequences if they do not comply.
What we are doing is that, first of all, on the new builds, the new construction, that is very easy to do, obviously, because we're going to make sure that all of the designs for the homes are approved, pre-approved by the Ministry of Planning, and we'll be able to check on them because, as I said, we're beefing up our planning inspection units. On the reconstruction, on the rehabilitation, the ones that have been partially damaged and are being built back, we've called in, the Prime Minister called in all the contractors. He had a meeting with them in the cabinet room, and he stressed the issue of, well, not all of them, but the major ones. He stressed the issue of building to code. We will be inspecting aggressively, and we've also made it very clear that if you're a contractor and you're taking shortcuts, and we find out that you're taking shortcuts, so that's the end of your work. You're not getting any additional houses to do. And contractors realize that, look, there are hundreds, thousands of homes across St. Vincent and the Grenadines that have to be rebuilt, and they want a slice of it. They're business people.
Minister Gonzalez added that homeowners should also share some of the responsibility as they often seek to cut costs. However, he emphasized that extensive education will need to be carried out to address the issue.
No, you're going to have to build to code. There are a lot of houses, not just in the southern Grenadines, but across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that are not built to code. People take shortcuts. The contractor come to you and say, look, man, I know they say you must screw in these hurricane straps, but we nail them in. The nail's cheaper than the screws. And you know what? You don't have to put in a hurricane strap on every beam. Maybe you could do every other one. You know, it could be good enough. And instead of putting down the screws every however many inches, we could spread them out and you could save a couple dollars. And some of that is hard to catch. But we're trying to educate contractors. We're trying to tell them that they will not be approved for future work if they do that. And we're also trying to educate homeowners because they have to expect the best standards in the construction of their home. So it's going to be difficult. I'm not going to say that we're going to catch everybody who is caught in a corner, because there are going to be so many thousands of houses being rebuilt and rehabilitated at the same time that we're not going to be able to catch everything. But we are aggressively trying to educate and trying to police the...
The government minister noted that assessments continue to be carried out on the level of damage to homes across St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. The opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, has announced that Dr. Kishore Shaloo has been selected by its North Leeward Constituency Council to contest a seat on the party's ticket in the upcoming general elections. In a news release dated Tuesday, September 17, 2024, the NDP said Dr. Shaloo's deep roots in the community and his proven leadership in organizations at the regional level makes him the ideal candidate to bring proper representation to North Leeward. Following the selection exercise at Democrat House last evening, President of the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, told Eyewitness News that they are happy that Dr. Shaloo has joined their team.
As you know, there were 3 candidates who vied for the selection tonight, and Mr. Shaloo was the overwhelming favorite of the delegates that were here. And you saw there was a very open, transparent process of voting, and I'm delighted that the process went well and smoothly, and that the delegates had a free choice of who the candidates were, and they chose Dr. Shaloo.
What does Mr. Shaloo's selection mean for the NDP in the next general elections?
I think it is huge, because what it demonstrates is that, Kishore Shaloo is a person, a quality candidate. He's the sort of candidate that brings a reputation of leadership in the region. and he's well educated, he's articulate, he's a young man. It's the future of the politics in our country, quite frankly. And so when we talk about having him as a candidate for the Democratic Party, that could only be a win-win for me and for the party and for the people of North Leeward, because he brings a dedication, first and foremost, to representing the people of North Leeward, as he said here tonight, and he has the ability to do it. I said that I'm putting together a team in this Democratic Party, the best ever to contest election in this country, because we don't want just to change government. Of course, that's the first priority. We have to change government. But we want to change the country, and you need people with vision, with ability, also younger persons who can take this forward and transform St. Vincent and the Grenadines from where it is now, where we are known for all these negative things, and all of our potential lies unrealized, undeveloped, because we had the wrong leadership in place. That is what I'm putting in place.
Dr. Friday said he now looks forward to the ratification process by the party's Central Committee for the candidates for North Leeward and Central Leeward, which will be done very soon.
We've had recently, and we are doing it now this way in the New Democratic Party, and it has worked fantastically well. And what we are doing is we are building not just selecting a candidate, we're building an institution in this Democratic Party, so that when I would like this to be one of my legacies, when I leave from this scene, that we know we have a party here that can transcend its leader and even the current proper candidates, and we have a process for ensuring that that happens. We are readying ourselves, we are ensuring that we have the message that resonates with the people, and more that is happening, that we have our candidates in place, that we have taken our time and deliberately selected candidates who can win in the constituency, but who can govern also as well. That people will see that the NDP is serious about transforming this country. So the candidates in the constituencies that we have now, we are focusing, we just had the selection of Central Leeward, getting him on the ground. Central Leeward 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And then North Leeward now, and it's to get them on the ground and really into the community. We had a meeting last week. Wednesday we went with Conroy Huggins to Curtains, where he's from. And I mean, as I said, the old saying is a prophet has known in his own country. That does not apply for him, because it was wonderful, the reception that he had. I'm looking forward to doing similarly when we go to North Leeward.
For his part, Dr. Shallow was quoted in the NDP's news release as saying, "I am truly delighted to be part of the Dr. Friday-led NDP team. His unwavering dedication to uplifting the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines resonates deeply with my own. I look forward to bringing the representation that the people of North Leeward badly need. Our country is at a critical juncture. It's about the future we owe to our children, our families, and our communities, and we need a change of government to put us on that new and better path. Together we can get it done," unquote. Dr. Shallow currently serves in the position as president of Cricket West Indies. Commenting on Dr. Shallow's selection to contest the upcoming general elections on the NDP ticket, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on NBC Radio Face-to-Face program today said he would not elaborate further. However, he noted that he met with Dr. Shallow yesterday.
A string of things before 8 o'clock, from between 8 and 10, including an appointment which Kishore Shallow, Dr. Shallow, had asked me that he wanted to see me to talk about some things, local and national. We had a very interesting conversation on national things, and I may talk about some of those things sometime in the future.
The Prime Minister alluded to Dr. Shallow being attracted to darkness, noting that the ULP's brightness will dim his star.
Except to say this, and I wouldn't say more than this. If a man considers himself a star, and there's a firmament where there are lots of stars, and one day is darkness. Perversely, he gets attracted to that where is darkness, because his presumed star, he thinks, may shine.
Can shine, right.
But if you come in a galaxy of stars, as in the ULP, if you think you are a bright star, your star would be dimmed in this galaxy of brightness.
In the 72 hours weather outlook, the SVG Met Services says weak unstable conditions continue to meander across the island chain, with clouds converging across our islands. It says fair and sunny skies could allow a daytime heating coupling with light winds to result in partly cloudy skies, light moderate showers and isolated localized thunderstorm activity across part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Residents and motorists in areas prone to flash flooding and landslides or near rivers and streams are asked to remain on the alert. The outlook further notes that fairly good visibility continues across our area except during showers. It says light gentle breeze across our islands could vary from northeasterly to southeasterly in some locations, decreasing to calm at times. Wind speeds are expected to gradually increase to about 25 kilometers per hour during Friday. Sea conditions are slight to moderate in open water, with swells near 0.5 west of our islands and ranging from 1.0 meter to 1.5 meters east of our islands. The St. Vincent and Grenadines Met Services says it will continue to monitor the tropical Atlantic Ocean and issue updates or advisories as necessary. We hear that the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force will be adopting the Citizen Security Data or CARI Secure approach to aid in crime prevention. CARI Secure is a project being implemented in collaboration with the Regional Security Services, the RSS, and supported by the UNDP. It allows for data to be collected and lodged digitally through a web-based application called the Police Record Information Management System. Sergeant Angela Duncan of the RSVG Police Force stated that the approach is modern and will facilitate the seamless transmission of information concerning crimes and criminal cases, making it readily available to law enforcement.
The gathered information can then be used, to attempt to curb your crime situation. And how it does that is by analyzing the information and using it to provide knowledge in the deployment of strategy, whether law enforcement or even social development.
Noting that the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force, as part of the first phase of the project rollout, Corporal Aliam Stapleton, who is attached to the RSVG IT department, mentioned that the new system promotes greater accountability and transparency for all parties involved, and emphasized that the transition from paper to a digital system will simplify the collection of data significantly.
Most police officers are trained. Well, all police officers are trained on that system itself. Now, the CARI Secure project in premise takes what we do in the traditional record keeping and we digitize it. So you are getting the police diary, which is the #1 diary. It captures that information. It captures reports from people and actually allows us to capture information in terms of the people, vehicles, firearms, what have you. All right. So it now takes that information that we would normally collect in the traditional way, and make it readily available for use. Because that's one of our biggest problems, getting the information when we need it.
Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Sinclair Jimmy Prince, announced that a new hyperbaric machine will be installed at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital by the end of the year. Minister Prince shared this information during the ULP Speaks program on Star FM radio recently. He noted that the new machine will significantly benefit locals by reducing the need to travel to other regional countries for such treatments. The addition of this equipment is expected to enhance the quality of medical care available to Vincentians.
Before the end of the year, I would think that within another month and a half or so, we will have on island a new hyperbaric machine for the bends, people who go diving and with the compression. Yes, that is coming soon.
Somebody was saying that go Babylon and St. Lucia back in the days.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we're going to have our own machine here. In fact, we want to have two, but we're going to have the first one. We set it up at the hospital in Kingstown until we get the new polyclinic at Calaqua, because the Coast Guard could bring people right up there and we go straight to Calaqua, because we intend to put a brand new polyclinic in that area, because it's a big catchment area, Calaqua is, and we need a bigger clinic, we need more services there, that kind of thing, as we do in places like Bel Air and Salt Rivers and so on, those big catchment areas. So we have been doing a lot of work in that area.
A hyperbaric machine, also known as a hyperbaric chamber, is a specialized medical device used for hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This therapy involves breathing pure oxygen in a pressurized environment, which aids in the treatment of various conditions, including decompression sickness, carbon monoxide poisoning, and chronic non-healing wounds. The countdown has begun for the 6 young ladies vying for the Miss SVG Crown 2024. The pageant is scheduled for October 5th, 2024 at Victoria Park. Last evening, 5 of the 6 contestants engaged with the media during interviews. Tonight, we feature contestant number 6, Zada Stevens, Miss KCCU, who has been pushing herself to meet the demands of rigorous training. Stevens expressed that she feels ready for the big day.
Pensive about it, I think, but I think that's natural though. I think going into something as big as a national pageant, you would be a little nervous about it, but I'm ready. But you definitely have to work on your time management skills for sure, because you have to juggle work, because I do, in addition to being sponsored by KCCU, I also work at KCCU as a loans officer. So you have to balance work, you still have community training sessions, and then you have your personal training sessions. You have to go to the gym. You have interview training, public speaking training, even walk training. So it's really about balancing everything. It can be a little challenging sometimes, but definitely rewarding when you see the results here and there.
Ms. KCCU, who was assigned the Minister of Tourism portfolio, focused her Geku community project on promoting SVG's tourism. Dubbed She Leads, Stevens highlighted community tourism, culinary tourism, cultural tourism, and cultural preservation. She stated that if crowned Miss SVG 2024, she would continue her focus on tourism as well as women's reproductive health.
People are involved in it and they actually learn the art of building masks. So I think it's something that we can possibly incorporate with like summer programs, and in addition to doing the usual tie-dye and little games and stuff, we can probably have a little mask building workshop as well. Yeah, the summer program thing. I can see myself possibly teaming up with Mirage Productions maybe and doing like a summer program. I'd definitely love to do that. And I'd also like to use my platform to highlight or bring awareness to reproductive health concerns, especially with women, because it's something that I've had a few family members battle with recently, and it's something that I don't think is talked about enough. And usually when I have conversations with my friends and I ask them, do you ever remember learning about endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids in school? And the answer is always no. We're not exposed to these things until we become adults, and we might have a friend that has this issue and stuff like that. So I think it's something that I would definitely want to bring awareness to.
Stevens expressed confidence in herself and feels empowered to represent other young women who may face body shaming.
Have been super supportive of me as well. They're kind of sort of bullied me into it because, like I said, I wanted to do it, but I was still a little hesitant about it. And they were like, Zada, no, you've been wanting to do this for so many years now, you have to do it. Let's do this. So I have my support system. In relation to persons with negative comments, it is something that I expected going into it, I anticipated it. And even my walk coach, Zena Lewis, she said, Zada, people are going to have all sorts of things to say about you, but it's really about just blocking them out. But funny enough, although I expected all of the negative backlash, especially because I am a bigger girl and we know traditionally thick girls don't enter pageants, or we think that thick girls don't enter pageants. But I think that I've been getting a lot of positive comments from people, a lot of positive feedback, a lot of support. People meet me in the road and they're like, Zayda, I am so proud of you for doing this, and you're representing me as like a bigger girl too, and that makes me feel so amazing. Well, as I mentioned before, it's your girl, Zayda Stevens, contestant number 6, and on the night of the show, October 5th, at Victoria Park, you can expect grace, elegance, poise, and creativity.
We do wish her all the best. And like the other contestants, Stevens also represents the Vincentian chocolate.